Welcome to Roopa's 6 Questions for Authors. It's a real pleasure today to welcome Sheila Chaman to today's edition. Hello, Sheila ji.
Hi, Roopa. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Of course, it's such an honor. So, Sheila Chaman is a very special guest for me. She is a name an entire generation of Indians grew up on. She's an icon of Doordarshan, India's state-owned public broadcasting company. Sheila is a distinguished voice of Doordarshan, but she's also had a remarkable career spanning 3 decades as a news anchor, columnist, and documentary producer. She's also widely respected for her contributions as a social worker and an environmentalist. Today, though, I'm speaking to her as an author. I'm Roopa Unikrishnan. I'm a Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer by day, but in the evening, I am definitely an author. I write business books, and lately I've also written crime fiction. So this is a show that brings together both those elements of narrative storytelling and deeper thinking about the process of that storytelling. And so tell me, Sheila ji, tell us a little bit about your book, which I see on the background, but please tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, I'm so proud and happy that I was finally able to do it. This is Doordarshan Diaries, the golden era of television. It talks about the transition and transformation of the medium, Doordarshan, which, by the way, is the mother of all channels in India. Every other channel is an offshoot of Doordarshan. And I joined in 1975. And this book holds that historical, wonderful story of the transition of this great, grand medium from black and white to color and to what it is today. And it's authored by 10 of us. I was approached by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to author a book on the transition. So I thought to myself, one person cannot do justice to such a vast organization. So I reached out to my other colleagues from various departments, the engineering, the production, the presentation, the sports, the Krishi Darshan, which was for the rural masses, and very popular, of course. So I reached out to all these people, and they all came on board, and they've all put in their very exclusive, unheard of stories and that intellectual property into this book.
And I've had an honor of getting a copy, and I can say that, the expansiveness of the storytelling and the vignettes getting under the skin of some of the stories you've said, anyone who's, a fan of any kind of TV news making should go out now and get the book.
In fact, it's a must for everybody who wants to join the media in India or anywhere else, because the book also gives you tips. I used to hold workshops on how to speak, where to look into the camera, how much to enunciate, and exactly what to do.
Right.
And so this book also gives you tips on how to do and what to do if you want to join the media, want to join the medium.
Yes, and I'll tell you, viewers, I actually have the honor of just getting a teeny tiny tip, which I'm very happy that I got from from Sheila ji.
Yes, looking into the camera is very important, because I have to look into your eyes. And you see, if I'm looking up, then I'm looking above your head. If I'm looking down, then I'm looking below your eyes.
Right.
But if I'm looking into your eyes, I have to look right into the camera.
Right.
And that's the trick, because we used to say, Namaskar. आइए आपको आज के कार्यक्रम से अवगत करा दें. Let us give you the main points of highlights of today's program. So unless you're looking into the viewer's eyes, who is sitting in the drawing room or in his bedroom and looking in the TV, he doesn't get the feeling that the person talking, the announcer or the newsreader, is looking at me and talking to me.
Right. Right. Well, I know that Sheila ji has other workshops, so look out for them, and you can see more in the links below. So time for my 6 questions, or the Inquisition, as I like to call it.
Yes, shoot.
So the first question, I call it the origin spark, right? Every writer has that first idea, the one that made them think, I have to write this. What was yours, and did it ever come to fruition? Did it become a book? Did it become an article? Tell us more.
I always felt proud of being where I am and what I was doing. And I think I was just lucky to, because I had won the Miss India contest, Miss Young India contest in
Right.
1971. I had the confidence and I was not camera shy. So I wrote to the television center. I said, I'd like to do a program with you, which I used to watch Mirror of the World. I used to see Pamela Sehgal on it. And I said, I'd like to do this program. I can write a good script. We had to write our own script those days and memorize it by heart. That was one of the memory training, was one of the things we learned from Doordarshan. There was no auto cue. We just had to have everything by heart.
Amazing.
Every single word that went on air had to be memorized. And then we went on the air and with Elan, just speak it in front of the camera as if we are reading it. Nowadays, people have the news anchors and presenters have it so good. They have teleprompters and auto cues, and it was not
Right.
like that. So I wanted to share and tell people what it was like during our time. I joined in 1975, and it wasn't easy. With very limited resources, we managed so much.
Right.
So when the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting approached me to author the book, I thought it would be nice to do so and let viewers and readers know about what it all entails. And so I contacted my other colleagues from various departments, like the engineering, production, presentation, national music of program and dance. Kambalini, that was also um, instrumental
Right.
in digitizing all that intellectual property which was on tapes
Okay.
with Doordarshan. So she has written, and Krishi Darshan, which was, of course, for the rural masses and very popular program. I asked all these people to write, and they did. And so the book is a concise history and a piece of history and nostalgia.
That's amazing. And do you have another book in you, you think?
Well, right now the Hindi copies are coming out, and we propose to have it released on the same day, 15th September this year, as was this book released last year, which is
Fabulous.
the Foundation Day of Doordarshan.
Lovely, lovely. Well, okay, so then tell me about what I call question two, the process ritual. Like, what does writing actually look like for you on a typical day? Not the romanticized, I wake up at 6 a.m. and write for 5 hours, which people say, but, very few people are able to do. What was your writing process like?
Rupa, I am a through and through non-fiction person. I don't watch any serials. I'm not a movie buff. My television has about 22 channels of news from all over Hindi and English, including CNN and BBC, of course. And I used to watch Nikki Marks on BBC.
Right,
It's in the book, and emulate her style and her stance, the way she would read the bulletin. Came out really. News is serious business. There's
right,
nothing to hype. You just tell it like it is. There's, for example, something happens. Oh, this happened. All you have to do is just very calmly answer the five questions: how, what, when, where, and why.
right,
Once you have these answers, your news bulletin is complete.
right,
So,
right,
well, that's how it came about. And all these people, they agreed and they wrote for the love of me, and they sent in their scripts, which of course was edited by the publisher, which is always the case.
right.
But we are happy that it has turned out beautifully. Thank you so
Lovely.
much, Om Books.
Of course. Um, so tell me about, everything you do. So I gave a very concise history of a wonderful life you've led, right? So what is the day job tension? You've been newsreader, you've been all the way through to social work and, environmentalism. How do you splice in writing and, other such activities in such a busy life?
Writing is therapeutic. You let out everything that you think of, everything that you know. You're sharing your knowledge, and as they say, "Vidya बांटने से बढ़ती है." If you share knowledge, you increase it for yourself as well.
Right.
So, well, that's how it comes about, and other activities. And besides, going to the television center, reporting there at the news desk, which was the drill. You report at the news desk, you go to the video editor, you go to the bulletin editor, who is the boss of the bulletin who's the boss of the written word.
Right.
Every word that goes on the air is the editor's choice.
Mhm.
Then you meet the producer of the program, who then decides the cuts. You go to the video editor, you match the silent stories that are spoken along with the videotapes that are there. You match it all, and then you get your makeup done. Then you go into the studio, you get the lighting done.
Right.
All this is a 5 hour exercise.
Right.
So we used to report around 5:30 for a 9 p.m. bulletin, do all this, finish the bulletin, collect a check of 150 rupees at the end of it all. The
That's
most
about a little
poorly
over a
paid,
dollar, right?
yeah, that's the most poorly paid for the maximum amount of work hours put in.
Right.
But it was never about the money, and I enjoyed my work. I took it as not as work, it was enjoyment. So
Right.
everything I do falls in place.
That's amazing. Well, tell us about, is there ever has there been ever an idea that you've cherished, but you've kind of had to abandon because it hasn't turned into a story or a book or something you've wanted to put on documentary? Is there anything you walked away from and or put aside? What is that idea? Do you think you'll go back to it?
I wanted to document women in modern Indian politics, which I did.
Mm,
I interviewed the women in politics at that time. Sorry, Sushma Swaraj, Mehbooba Mufti, Uma Bharti, and there were a couple of these women at that time, 2006, when I made the documentary. That was the first one. Of course, before that, I'd done a lot of work with Doordarshan, produced at their expense women in the hospitality business, 7 days shooting, editing, and putting out that 1 hour program. It was fun interviewing all the women in the hospitality industry in various departments, which, of course, was very, very interesting. Then women in the hospitality business, and then I did Timeless, a program on a documentary on how to age gracefully. And there also I interviewed a lot of people, my doctors. In fact, you're looking at a host of uh, hundreds of stitches on my face. I had a head-on collision with another car, so
right,
my face was battered, bruised, and bashed, and these are all stitches.
right.
But despite that, I put tape on my face, micropore, and makeup, and was on the air. It's in the book,
I
including
know.
my makeup man, who has written for the book, Naresh Khare. Unfortunately, he passed 2 years ago. But he was remarkable the way he put me back on television, and I was back there with a bang. So we don't take no for an answer, number one. And being a diehard optimist, I think I've done most of the things I wanted to do. So God has been very kind.
Oh, it's wonderful. So I know that your crash was at the height of your career. So, kudos to you for showing us how to bounce right back and elegantly at that. So thank you for what
Thank
you've
you.
done. So question number 5, I call it the shelf test. You've talked about how, for you it wasn't about that 150 rupees. It was about the love for the news, really, right? So and now you have a book. When you finish the book, what was the metric you set up for yourself to decide whether this was a success? Was it about, you know, I won't put words in your mouth. How were you thinking of this book, and how would you consider it a success?
Really speaking, Rupa, anything that I do, I don't look at what the outcome will be or what will I gain out of it.
Hmm.
So when I was first approached, as I said, by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to do the book, I contacted my people. We got writing. We submitted our script, and then I had to look for a publisher. And then I did look for a publisher. I sent it out to a number of publishing houses. And Om Books International, Mr. Ajay Mago, who I spoke to just once, without looking at the manuscript, just talking to me on the phone, he said, "Sure, just send me the material." And the entire team worked on it, and they edited the whole manuscript and put out the book. and of course with inputs from me and okay from me, and then I gave them some pictures and photographs, very
Right.
exclusive,
Right.
sent in by the other contributors also. I had some very exclusive photographs of my trip with to Lahore, or with Mr. Vajpayee, the former Prime Minister of India, and what we did there, and because of the visibility on television, so many avenues and doors opened up for me. I got so many opportunities to do so many other things, like being the MC, the celebrity master of ceremonies for the superstar Amitabh Bachchan and other star shows. Kalyanji Anandji picked me up and said, "You speak. We hear you on stage and on television speaking in Hindi, English, and Urdu. So will you please join us, be our compare for shows abroad?" So that's how I landed up doing a lot of shows. I speak 9 languages. I also learned German and Russian.
Amazing.
And I was given opportunities to accompany um, various VIPs and heads of state and government at various occasions, represent the country, which has been very, very satisfying. So,
Right.
really speaking, it's been a wonderful journey.
Right. So it's not the, the simple metrics, it's the more holistic metrics about, what have been opened up to you, right? So interesting.
Thank you.
Tell us, and my last question, I call it the necessary lie. It's a little eccentric. And
Uh-huh.
and the idea here is that we sometimes have to protect something within ourselves, a belief perhaps about ourselves so that we can keep going, especially with writers. I, for example, don't tell myself that there is a certain type of person who reads my book. I always tell myself everyone should be reading this book. And that lie
Mhm.
helps me write better because I'm being inclusive and thoughtful. So, do you have a lie you kind of tell yourself to keep going?
No, as I said, uh, through and through nonfiction, through and through honest, positive, very direct person. People say you ask Sheila Chaman for an opinion, you will get it right and royal. And if you don't like it, then don't mind it. So don't ask if you don't want to know the truth.
Right,
So, well, that's how it is. We tell no lies, and we hear no lies, and we speak no lies. And having been a media person for 30 years, having spent 30 years with Doordarshan,
right,
I began as a presenter, announcer, bilingual announcer. I was the first one to face the camera when the medium went live, color, and national for the first time
right,
on 15th August 1982.
right,
And so after that, then the news bug got to me. It's all in the book. The news bug got to me because I thought that was the most prestigious thing to do. So I joined and became a news reader, and thereafter a correspondent. I sat for a test, and a reporter and a stringer. I also did stringer means I used to operate my own camera and do my own coverages
right.
and give it to Doordarshan for them to put it out as news stories. And it's been an interesting journey. I mean,
Amazing.
that itself is a book in itself. So, and I
Right.
never talk about my personal life. I only talk about that aspect, which, at least in the book, that aspect that is associated with this medium
Mm,
and Doordarshan.
right.
And I am what I am because of Doordarshan, and I'm very grateful for it.
This is such a rare quality, in a time when you see journalists sort of sometimes try and make themselves the news story, right?
They
So
think
it's
they fell from a tree doing what they were. Well, it's been an arduous journey, I would say, a long and wonderful journey,
yes,
and we never had any kind of animosity or acrimony amongst us. There was a lot of uh, camaraderie, lot of bonding and sharing
yeah,
and supporting. Even after my accident, nobody said, "Oh my God, she's looking different," or "her face is bashed." But no bones were broken, thankfully,
right.
so I could carry on.
And I know that there's a very special photograph of you and your other the very special ladies who were on screen, setting the tone for news. So
Yes, yes,
thank
I'd
you
like to
for
show
sharing that.
that,
Yeah.
and I'm so proud of this photograph. This photograph of the four of us, uh, Salma, Sarla, two Hindi news readers, Meenu and me. We were sitting in the makeup room one day with color coordinated saris. We always wore the national dress, the sari,
Yes.
whenever we were on television doing anything, and that's how it should be. I
Yes.
still feel anyone on television should be wearing the national dress. So we took this picture, and those days I had got it developed, given each one a print. Little did I know that 20 years from then, it would be on the net and go viral.
Right.
And
Yes. It's,
that
social
that's
media
how
is giving us
that's how
all
yeah,
kinds.
so that exactly. See, we are today talking far away. It's looking like you're interviewing me in the studios where I would have pancake makeup and dressing and lighting and this and
Right.
that, and then sound check and the mic coming here. You know how it is in a studio. So
Yeah.
you see how instant everything has become.
Yes.
And
Though I
with
still
AI
needed
coming
your
in,
lesson.
thank you. Yes.
Yes. Well, this has been a real pleasure. Thank you so much. This is a fabulous conversation. And to the listeners and viewers, look below. You're going to see all the details about the book, about Miss Chaman and everything she's done. And I look forward to seeing you all for the next show. Thank you all.
Thank you. I'll end Doordarshan style. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you.